Give me some.
Give me some. Woo! In the good morning.
And happy Flex Friday.
I like to say good morning better than Good Friday. Because Good Friday is like a real thing, like Good Friday.
Yeah.
Like every Friday is a Good Friday, but like it's not Good Friday. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You guys.
It's not morning for us anymore. Well, it is actually.
You guys, today we have a very special guest, Mr. Boogie, over here.
What is it?
Boogie, do you have something to say today? Squirrel.
Looking at squirrel.
Squirrel.
Really concerned with
life.
squirrel. Hey, good morning, everybody. Hey, if you are here, hit us in the comments so that we can see that you are here. What's up, Priscilla? What is up, Mary James?
By the way, if you're new to the community and this is your first time watching this, do note that every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, we have a live espresso.
We have a show for you.
So it's a Q&A session where basically we answer all of your questions. And I wonder if you guys are watching this, maybe if we can drop the link in the comments. As you're hearing this, if you're like, ooh, I happen to have a question, let's drop the form so that you guys can, just...
I think this is this one.
So that you guys can just add it to the form and we can answer any and all of your questions.
Is Coach Super Danny here? Coach
Maybe.
Super Danny? I think I posted the right link. Good morning, Ashley. Good morning, Amanda and Tawny and Sarah. Espresso o'clock.
Amen to that.
I love it.
We are actually
espresso
drinking
o'clock.
espresso.
We are.
Okay,
Thank
I
you.
have a question for you guys.
Thank you to the one and the only L-Dub.
AKA Lauren Waymeyer. Today is her 2-year anniversary.
Coming in hot with a
So nice.
bang, bang, bang the drum. Good morning, Mo.
What would you get at Starbucks?
If you had to guess what our Starbucks order is, what would you guess?
Do we have the same one? I'd probably not.
Yeah.
Oh, we do. I thought yours will have the other thing.
Simple.
Yeah. Got it.
Just give you a hint. It's simple. Good morning, Jennifer. All right, so today we have a couple of questions, so let's roll into it while y'all are saying hi. First question that we have.
Brooke de la Sala. She also had a question last week. I love it. I love,
Great.
when people are engaged, they're in it to win it. So, Brooke, I want to give you a huge shout out. Exercise question. If and when I struggle with a move, example, plank up downs, am I better served to do fewer full range of motion or do more reps that are modified motion? I love
Great
that question.
Great
I love that question. And let's get back to the Facebook group so we can read your guys' Starbucks answers. Curious.
Chai tea latte. Who is all about the chais? Somebody was.
I don't know. So by the end of the day, Brooke, it's all about your intention. So, for example, for somebody who normally comes to our community, your journey from the fitness category would start with the Rise Above workouts and then the burn zones and then the underground training club. And a question that we get very often in the underground training club is, what's better, to do less weight and more reps or to do the prescribed weight? And it's all about the intention. Are you looking to get faster and
What's the desired stimulus?
and move better within a certain weight, or are you looking to get as strong as possible? And for example, if it's to get as strong as possible and currently your weight is not at what we call the prescribed weight, then go as heavy as you can to the degree that your movement is not compromised. You know, when it comes to
But you're able to do all of the reps.
when it comes to fitness, the way that, you know, we execute it is it's got to be number one, safe, right? If something is not safe, it's only a matter of time till you're going to stop. It's going to be fun, right? It's got to be fun, because otherwise we won't want to keep doing it. And then it's got to be effective, right? Because it's got to give you results. So, you know, like one thing that we see very often when people are like, oh, I want to get as strong as possible, is push yourself. However, like, keep in mind that your quality of movement comes first, because if your movement is compromised, right, then you won't be stronger, because it's only going to be a matter of time till you get an injury, and that's going to set you back.
And you're not lifting more weight in a good way. You're lifting more weight in a compromised way, which isn't really making you stronger anyways.
Yeah, so you're developing a movement habit that is compromised.
Yep. And there's a cap that happens with that really quickly. So by the way, Mo said an Americano for sure. That's
She's
what
for
I'd
sure
get you.
correct.
For sure.
She's for sure.
Okay, so but to answer the question, should I do less range of motion to do the reps, or should I do less reps in a full range of motion? I want to go back to the question, was it because of pain? I struggle with the move. Okay, so if there's no pain involved, this is good. I would say do all of the reps and do the full range of motion. Just maybe it's in more sets. Maybe you're just not doing all the reps, what we call unbroken, where you don't take a rest in between. So, you know, if you've got, let's say, it depends on which part of the workout it's into. Okay, so if you're doing something for strength, then you want to do all of the reps, ideally unbroken, right? Because that's a set. It has to do with the amount of time that your muscles are under tension. So you want to be able to do all of the reps unbroken in that. So if it's for strength and it says 10 reps, then I would say do full range of motion. But for something like a plank up down, maybe you do it elevated. So you're still using a full range of motion, but gravity is not pulling on you as much, because you're not like this, you're like this. So maybe you do plank up downs to a bench, and your forearms are on a bench, and you're still able to do all the reps, right? So the way you would modify that wouldn't be by shortening the range of motion or lessening the reps. It would be taking resistance out. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'd say to that. Okay, question number 2.
Ana Gonzalez. I drink 100 plus ounces of water and X and D hydro, yet my doctors say I am dehydrated. What can I do? I have a low salt approach to food.
I can understand why you would ask that.
Yeah.
You would think one would be hydrated by drinking 100 plus ounces of water and hydro.
You know, what I would like to know from your doctor is, I mean, I'm sure if he or she says that you're dehydrated, you know, there was probably some kind of test that was done. What I would love to know is what is causing that. So, a couple of things to touch on, because is that an assumption or is that the truth? I don't know. Like, unless a certain test is done that says, okay, like your water weight is this and that amount and you're dehydrated, like, is that really true?
Dehydrated?
So the first thing to consider, and Anna, I know that you also live in Arizona, which is a hot and dry place, so we'll touch on that for a second. The first thing to consider, like when we coach someone, the initial hydration target that we shoot for is half your body weight in ounces. So my first question to you, not having done any tests on you or any of that, is does 100 ounces account for half your body weight in ounces? Okay, and if the answer is yes, this is more than that, okay, then from a quantity standpoint, you're probably doing a good job. Now, that is just a generalized format. That is not an individual format. So I share this with you because we always start with generalize and then we go to individualize. So the other thing that I know about you is that you live in Arizona. It's a really hot and dry place, which means that your body probably needs more than that, in the case that 100 ounces is the initial target. So what I would do is I'm like, okay, well, would you be willing to maybe up it to 120 ounces? I love the fact that you're taking the hydro. That will definitely help with hydration. The other thing to consider is what kind of water are you drinking? Because the truth is, you guys, is that not all waters are created equal, okay? So for example, like tap water, for the most part, unless you live like, I think Portland, Oregon has really good water. I think in certain places in Canada, they have extremely clean water that come like straight up from the glacier. Tap water for the most part is, not hydrating. And then also, like if we think about bottled water, not all bottled water is created equal. For example, most bottled water out there is just purified water. Okay, that's just like not very hydrating. So depending on your water type, go for spring water in the UK or Australia. You guys call it mineral water.
Italian sparkling mineral water.
Yeah. And then there is also alkaline water. Alkaline water is probably like the highest quality of water that you can get. It is a bigger investment, but just like any investment, normally what you pay for is what you get.
Anybody have Kangen water? Anybody know what that is?
By the way, ionized water and alkaline water is the same thing. Okay, just chemically it's called different, but it's the same thing. So that is another thing to consider. But Anna, considering all of this, what I would do is I would pick up your phone and I would, call up your doctor and really ask was there a specific data point that suggested that? If so, like, what do you think is the cause of this? Okay? So that is just something to consider and something to think about. And I want to touch a little bit on low salt approach. You guys, salt is okay. What the main thing to take into consideration with regards to salt is that not all salts are created equal. Salts that you're gonna find in most food, that is not okay because that is processed salt, just like processed sugar. It's like an apple is okay. An apple is good for you. It has sugar in it in the form of fructose. Okay? Like Himalayan salt, as a matter of fact, Himalayan salt is actually hydrating. Okay?
Ooh.
Like that's why IVs, like they have saline in them. Why? Like saline is salt, but not all salts are created equal. Like, in society, when people have a high salt consumption or a high sodium consumption, it's because they have a high processed food consumption. Okay? Like, processed salt is a great preservative. And that's why I like a lot of, foods in cans, in boxes, in jars have a lot of sodium. Salt is not necessarily bad for you. What we need to ask is, what kind of salt is in here? The salt that's in Campbell's soup, terrible for you. It's used as a preservative. Now, the Himalayan salt that's in our salad is incredible. It's got minerals, it's hydrating, so you need to ask yourself, like, what sodium am I consuming? Because if it's mostly processed, then for one, if somebody is normally consuming, and Anna, this is not, like a part of your question. I want you to know that, and I'm not sure if that would even be beneficial for you, but I just want to say this to anybody who's listening. Normally what we find is that when somebody has a higher processed sodium intake, it's because they have a higher processed food intake, which means that person probably has a high processed sugar intake. You're just not going to get very far with quality when you're eating a lot of processed foods or some kind of processed foods. Okay, so, and I want to share this with you because processed sugars actually cause dehydration. Okay, I want to ask you guys a question. Who in here before has overeaten like maybe cake or cookie or anything sugary? If you've ever done that before, can I just get this emoji or this emoji real quick? Because I know I have. And I want to ask you guys a question that will really help you to understand what I'm saying. Curie, never, right? Never. So like, let's say after a day of like binge eating crap, be it like cookies, cakes, whatever, did you find yourself that you're like, dude, I'm so fucking thirsty. Like, I just feel like I just drank like a bottle of sodium sauce. I mean, soy sauce, sodium sauce.
Same thing.
Basically, same thing. Have you guys felt that before? Sugar is very dehydrating. And I saw the comment about Gatorade. You're 100% right. The thing with Gatorade is that it is processed salt and processed sugar, and that is why it is not hydrating.
The scariest thing is that they market it as though it is.
Right. Let me see what they say. Go down.
Just all these.
Yes, absolutely. Right? Like, I remember when I used to go ham on sugar. Dude, I would wake up like in the middle of the night, literally chug an entire bottle of water. And then you're like, you're so full of water. Like, it's such a nasty feeling. It's like if you lay down, you feel like your water go bloop. And if you get up, you feel your water go bloop. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah.
100%. So, normally what we find is that, look, if there is intake of processed salt, there's for sure an intake of processed sugar, because if there is processed salt, there is processed food. And Anna, like I said, I'm not saying that is you. This is just me saying a general statement. And, like what we need to be wary of is our processed food intake. I don't care how many little carbs it has. I don't care how little calories it has, or how much protein that lower sodium protein packed frozen burrito has. I guarantee you that shit is gonna make you dehydrated AF. Okay, processed foods is what we need to watch out for. And if you're like, well, how do I know that a food is processed or not? Just take a look at the ingredient list. Take a look at the ingredient list.
Yeah, it's tricky. All these beverages too, that since we're on this topic, that have, I saw a comment that's like, 0 calorie drinks are bad. And most of the time, yes, there's something to be aware of. However, there are some that are awesome, actually, that we have, or zero sugar drinks. Like we have the Suja lemonade and things like that, which are awesome.
I think it's got like 1 gram of sugar.
Okay, 1
which
0.
is like trace.
1 0. It's just a matter of looking at the ingredients and seeing what's in it. Is there aspartame? Is there sucralose? Is there some kind of chemical that you can't pronounce? Is there a food coloring in it? You know, those are the kind of things to look out for in that. Because stevia is great. Stevia is great. It's all good. It is from a plant.
And monk fruit is too.
And monk
They're
fruit.
they both come from a different plant, but from a quality standpoint, it is about the same. What you want to make sure of when you get it is because nowadays they also mix it with some kind of like another processed sugar or a sugar format. So like if your intention, for example, is to just have pure stevia, make sure that that is pure stevia and not and then like some organic cane sugar or erythritol or something like that.
There's great questions coming in. Catherine said, what about things like Crystal Light in water? Last time I checked, Crystal Light is
sucralose,
garbage,
I think.
Yeah, for lack of a better term.
If you have Crystal Light, if you have, I know that's like, those used to be like my drinks in college.
Oh, the
right?
packets? I
yeah,
would
or like the zero sugar like tea powders.
Or the Mio where you'd like squirt it in.
Terrible for you. Toss it out.
No good. Okay, the other one that I saw is blue agave nectar okay as a sweetener?
It's a better than sugar. Okay, it is not if it's pure blue agave. Okay, keep in mind because not every agave is pure agave, so you want to always take a look at the ingredients. And if it is pure agave, then that is definitely better than, you know, for example, having some kind of sugary syrup. Like, for example, okay, like, we haven't had a margarita in a long ass time, but like, you know,
too long.
We love a really good, like, high quality margarita. And,
or two.
You know, and when we have a margarita, for one, we always ask, does it have like, is it made with simple syrup, triple sec? And normally the places that we go to, because we really care about the experience, those places have higher quality ingredients. However, if you don't ask, you don't know, right? So make sure that that is out of the question, because simple syrup is just like, it's low quality sugar. Like if it's like, okay, you're gonna have a margarita with that.
That's a huge thing that they use in coffee too. Sugar-free, vanilla, blah, blah, blah. It's simple syrup, but it's... Yeah.
And it mixes really well in liquids, right? That's why you'll find that in a lot of drinks, be it alcoholic, non-alcoholic. So like, for example, agave is not a processed sugar. However, it is a sugar. So like we'll ask, okay, like what is the margarita like made out of? And then we ask for light agave because it still is a sugar. So we're going for a better than and less of.
I'd like to say something though. We're having this conversation about sugar. That does not mean, please don't think that like you have to go extreme and like intake the least amount of sugar possible, because we're talking about nitty gritty, like, oh, light agave, oh, like the least amount of sugar. You have to start with where you're at and you have to work from there. So if you're used to eating pastries, like sugary pastries all the time, don't try to think that, oh my gosh, now you have to like try to intake the least amount of possible sugar. The goal is to be better, but we're having this conversation because these are the things that we do that we've worked our way into.
Yeah. There are a lot of progressions. I see a lot of good questions coming.
Yeah, are zero sugars for real? And are zero sugars for real and the sugar are better options or more natural sweeteners?
Okay, so are zero sugars for real? Not always. Take a look at the nutrition facts. Okay?
Oh, never mind.
Okay, so take a look at the nutrition facts, and if it says zero sugar, then yes, that is for real. And then what was the other part of the question?
I don't know, it's gone because we're going too slow. There's 15 comments we haven't even seen. And I need to answer this one. And they're going, so we need to go quick. Okay. Kool-Aid, no good. I saw something about Kool-Aid. Whatever it is, Kool-Aid, no good.
Yeah.
Baker's Blend, okay, that one's gone. Crystal Light gave me migraines. The first ingredient in Kool-Aid is sugar. Yeah, which is going to be the most amount because they go
and it
by
is processed sugar.
They go by quantity. Says 100% pure blue agave. There you go. I used to be fascinated that Mio was made of all chemicals and wondering which chemical made it taste like peach. Good question. You can make simple syrup from stevia. I do this with cranberries. Oh,
Yes, you can.
that's awesome. Is Mio good for you? No. Just need a little flavor in my water. I mean,
Hinted, look, you can always do infused waters.
yeah, you can.
Like infuse it with lemon, lime, cucumber, watermelon, strawberries.
Yeah, like
Mint.
muddle them up. Like if you're doing a berry, like muddle them and mix them with water, lemon.
If you don't like to drink water, if let's say you're kind of like
I feel like watermelon and lime.
or watermelon and mint. So like especially this time of year, like with summer, like infusing water is a great idea. If you're like I get bored of water, or maybe I don't just like the taste of water. Something that we do is we use the X-Endurance Hydro. For one, it's a hydration formula. It's sweetened with stevia. Okay, so none of that crap. And for two, like it makes your water. There's two flavors. There's grape, and by the way, that purple color comes from grape extract. Okay, so it is extracted from the grapes, and then there is lemon lime. So, like for example, I have 5 bottles of water a day. 2 of them are with hydro. That's like my treat. First, I gotta get through the plain watery stuff that are not like quote unquote ideal for me, but I'm grateful. This is me just, taking every advantage that I can to practice discipline. And once I'm done with my 3 bottles, I just finished my 3rd bottle. The next bottle that I'm gonna fill up, guess what? It's gonna have some lemon lime hydro. So that's just a thought. Okay.
By the way, I dropped a link for the hydro that people are talking about. You can, a lot of you guys are already using it. If you're not, you can get 25% off your first order. I put the discount code in there. Cucumber mint. Is erythritol okay?
So erythritol is like on the categories of like really shitty for you processed sweetener and better. Erythritol is higher in a sense that like phenylalanine is like one of the worst things that you can like put inside your body. It literally messes with your central nervous system. Aspartame, sucralose are like, shitty as well. And then there is erythritol, which like as far as we know, there's no like dangerous implications that are associated with that. However, it is not natural like, stevia or monk fruit. So the way that I see it is when in doubt, just go for stevia or monk fruit. However, like for example, Truvia is made out of erythritol. If you're like, well, is it better? Because I know that Truvia has some like baking sugar, right? Like they're baking Truvia. Like, what? Like, Sarit, do you recommend to bake with Truvia versus sugar? Yes. The answer is a resounding yes. However, like if you have access to raw honey from a quality standpoint, like quality over always first, because I care about what I put in my body. Like I'm not as concerned with a couple more calories because I know that if I give my body what it needs, then it'll be better. Now, of course, if you're eating honey on a regular basis, that's not what your body needs. At least not at the stage of where I'm at in the journey. So like you have to think, okay, where am I at in the journey?
I saw a consideration of maybe the Kool-Aid that I'm drinking is the reason I'm not losing weight. I'm not sure if you're still on here, Mary Beth, but in case you watch this back, or for anybody else who's like, oh, maybe if I've been having these things, you know, these sugary things or whatever, the reason why I'm not losing weight, there's a few things to take into consideration, so I want to kind of explain those. One of those things is going to be, depends on the quantity that you're taking in. You know, if it's like, oh, you have a little thing of Kool-Aid in your water per day one time, like that's not going to make the biggest difference. However, sugar has addictive properties, especially when it is processed sugar. And so, you know, it's going to also lead to craving other sugars. And then, you know, then you've got to have more willpower, or you've got to create a stricter environment that isn't as tempting, because it literally does things to your brain to where you want more. And so, you know, then your palate is used to that. So when things are not as sweet, you try to make them sweeter. So then you end up adding stuff to more things that you eat. And so it accumulates. Okay. So just by making that one change, if you were to substitute, you know, a Mio or a Crystal Light or a Kool-Aid, you know, if you were to substitute that for some kind of like the X Endurance Hydro, or which they have grape or lemon lime. Prefer lemon lime. By the way, what's your preference? If you take the Hydro, what's your preference? Hold on, I'm not finished. You've been doing a really good job at doing my job, which is interrupting. And only I'm supposed to do that.
Okay.
So, what was I going to say?
You were saying which flavor do you prefer?
No, I was saying something else. Or you could substitute it for, like we were talking about, muddling some kind of berry or fruit, using cucumber, mint, things like that. Even switching from like soda to kombucha, as long as the kombucha is not a highly processed sugar variety, right? So in anything, check out the ingredients, not just the nutrition label where it says grams of sugar, but actually check out, like, in the list of ingredients, what's first? And is there anything in there that is like, oh my God, I can't even try to pronounce this. Like, I feel like when do you learn to read? 2nd grade? I don't know. I feel like you can't pronounce it. It's questionable.
I'm responding to Amy Gillespie.
Maltodextrin is sugar.
Mary Beth is the person who asked the question about the Kool-Aid, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I want to add something. Like, I'm going to go like high level real quick. Mary Beth, what I would say your biggest gap right now is your standards. However, if I see that somebody's standards are compromised, it's because you've been misinformed and you've been miseducated. Okay, so I share that with you not to make you feel bad. However, if you are consuming Kool-Aid, I can only imagine what other things you're consuming. And that's why I tell you, like, your biggest gap is your standards, because I guarantee you that there are so many blind spots that you're not even aware of. And it all goes under the standard category. I would strongly encourage you to stay plugged into our community. And I'm not sure if you are doing the TKC. If you're doing the TKC, great. And based on where you're at in your journey, maybe at some point, like, if you will find that useful, like, I would strongly encourage you to join one of our programs. Because, and we talked about this in the TKC, we don't know what we don't know. Okay? And the food industry is going to say certain things to manipulate you. So unless you actually know, okay, your standards are going to be compromised, and you can try and try and try all day long, but you will find that you're getting stuck because you get what your standards are. So if you have compromised standards, you're going to get lesser than. If your standards increase, by default you're gonna go up. Okay, so like if you're hearing this and you're like, man, that stinks. Like, do not be upset with yourself. Do not be pissed at yourself. However, based on where you're at, and depending on your level of trust in us, right? Like, I would strongly encourage you to do something about it. And if you're like, I want to do something about it, reach out to Danny or Danny. If Mary Beth reaches out to you, just have a conversation so that you can assist her and see what would be the best thing.
They would like to know what is in our coffee.
Okay, I will show you guys. I actually just ripped this thing off. I have this thing, so...
I got it. I got you. Lauren. Venti Americano 2 stevias, almond milk.
That's it.
Ta-da! Oh, I did add a little, oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, if you're like a creamer kind of person, I totally wish that we were like sponsored by this company, and we will be at some point. But super creamer is amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. Best creamer we have ever found.
It did change my life.
It did change
It did
our
change
lives.
my life.
Changed
Yes.
our lives.
Uh-huh.
Super creamer. Okay, but here's the deal. There's certain flavors that get chunky in the coffee, so I wouldn't recommend them as much. Okay, there's two flavors that we go to that we've tried. We have not tried every flavor. We haven't tried the caramel one, I don't think, because I'm just not
Or
a caramel fan.
we only tried 2 or 3, I think. But
Those
what's the one
glasses
that
look
we
good on
like?
me.
What's the one that we like?
You guys like these glasses on Sarit? Wow, chicka, wow, wow. What we like, the sweet cream. Sweet cream is top dog.
Yes, that's the best
Sweet
one.
cream. Sweet cream. Top dog, all right, Mo? And then the next best, in my personal opinion, would be the French vanilla. The vanilla, though, don't mix up vanilla and French vanilla. The vanilla gets chunky.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Or we got a weird one. I'm not sure. But I did not want to order that one again.
Yes, we did have the X&D creamer. It's good.
Yes, I actually...
It's good.
Okay,
We like it.
I should give my analysis. Yes, okay. But here's the deal with that one. You need to put like the tiniest amount of liquid in the creamer, in the like powder of the creamer, and like what is it, like make it into like a paste almost. Otherwise it does get chunky. And I will not lie though, even the chunks, if you like smush them between your tongue and the roof of your mouth, it's super creamy, and it's like, that's kind of nice, but it looks weird. I like the appearance of no chunks in my coffee.
To all of our dirty people, I know you do that shit.
But yeah, if you put a little bit of like even if you put a little bit of coffee in it first, make it a paste, like the tiniest amount. Make a paste so it's all smooth, then put the rest of your coffee in. Pro tip.
Michelle Foal, yes, frother is life.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you guys. Chunky peanut butter or creamy peanut butter? We were talking about chunky creamer. I'm like, let's go the peanut butter route. Yeah. What would you rather, chunky or creamy?
Me?
You creamy, right?
Girl, that sounds like I'm 12. You creamy, right?
You creamy.
Girl, you creamy. Okay, so, all right, here, it depends. Okay? It depends.
What does it depend on?
It depends on if it's like, I like both. Okay, but I suppose I have like had creamy more often than I've had chunky, but like, it's like saying like, oh, ice cream with like no treats in it. You know, it's like, you like the treats, like the textures.
Yeah, like the chunky's
because
like treats.
No, but chunky is creamy and chunky.
Right.
It's both, because
so you get a little more.
It's butter. It's buttery. It's peanut buttery, but it
Uh-huh.
has chunks in it. So it's like both.
I'm all about that chunk life.
Chunk life.
I haven't had peanut butter in how long now?
I don't know. I just started having it again. Over 150 days, probably.
Over 100 days, I know for sure.
Mix it with pancake batter. Yeah. See you at 5, Dawn. Okay. Amy, crunchy. Dana, crunchy. Lynn, creamy. Okay, let's keep count.
Crunchy, she said
Okay.
chunky. Do you need go put on your glasses, girl?
This one says crunchy.
Yeah, but this one
Okay,
says
okay.
chunky.
Okay. But let's keep crunchy and chunky are going to be the same, all right?
Okay.
So let's keep tabs. Okay, you put your fingers up for creamy.
Okay.
I'll put my fingers up for
Okay.
chunky because,
Okay.
girl, you creamy. All right. Chunky, creamy. Chunky, creamy. Chunky, creamy. If on a sandwich, creamy. On a spoon, chunky. Okay,
She's
both.
halfway. So let's
Depends on what I'm using it for. Okay, chunky. If I like to chew my peanut butter. Creamy. Chunky. This is amazing. We should do a poll on the Facebook page.
Uh-huh.
Chunky life. I'm running out.
Creamy.
Eating plain, chunky, baking. Okay, yep.
Creamy.
Chunky, creamy. You have 2 more.
Creamy. I'm at 9.
I'm at 10.
Oh shit!
Hashtag chunk life. Oh! Ashley Wise came in hot with a creamy. It's a tie.
It's a tie. All right.
All right, you guys.
Oh. Creamy one. Creamy one. All right, you guys. So that does it for today's Q&A. We hope that you found a lot of value in today's conversation.
And had fun.
Are you guys enjoying these? If yes, drop a double flex.
Hey, you guys are going to want to be here next week. It's going to be a really special episode.
Yep. Actually, we also have, it is TKC, so we're always like the action. It's like a party all week long. I will be hosting TKC related Q&A, and I have 2 special guests that are going to be joining me today. It's
When?
Gonna be,
In
it's
45
gonna be,
minutes?
Yeah, it's going to be at 12:30. So you guys,
45 minutes.
if you happen to be available, join it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be super inspiring, and I hopefully look forward to seeing you there.
Super inspiring.
Double flex. Okay, you guys are enjoying it. Amazing.
Happy Flex Friday, y'all. If you have questions, check the comments for the form, the link in the form. If you're like, what the heck is all this X endurance stuff about? Check the comments for the link there as well. You guys rock. Have an amazing day. Keep partying with us because it's more fun with you. Okay? All right. Bye.
Much love, everybody.